The great thing about AEB is that it's automatic. The driver doesn't have to be aware of it, they don't have to change their driving habit. It basically steps in when the driver has not been paying attention or there's some road conditions that have suddenly changed. The computer on board the car decides that braking is needed at the very last moment, in fractions of a second.
Basically, there's a need to quantify the effectiveness of the various systems that are out there. So although a lot of manufacturers might claim they have AEB fitted into their vehicle, we want to make sure we're comparing apples with apples here and that they do meet the various safety performance criteria we'd expect out of such a system. There are actually protocols in existence in Europe, and in fact the Europeans are just this year starting to introduce testing for AEB. So the question may arise as to, well, why do we need this in Australia? Well, I think it's important that we build this capacity up in Australia so that we are capable of monitoring our own vehicle fleet. And just because something passes a Euro AEB test doesn't mean that they're delivering a Euro AEB product into the Australian market.
Developing this testing regime and testing protocol is very important. A system such as this has really been developed and pushed from vehicle manufacturers, so it's quite important to go out to consumers, have a testing regime and have a method where we can compare cars with other cars with these systems, so consumers can know that this has been independently tested. The system on car A is as good as the system as the system on car B, and so on and so forth.
All sorts of reasons people don't always pay the attention they need to driving. So there may be issues like mobile phones, or they may be just vaguing out for a minute and suddenly you're at an intersection, a car's in front of you, and it's too late.
Well, there'll be no other opportunity for research in Australia. There's not like there's a government department that's really doing research in this field. They've come up with control systems, robots to brake and accelerate the car, and so they've worked out that technology and they've matched that in with available technology for locating vehicles accurately on the road. They're using robotics to keep the distance between the cars equal and to go at a constant speed.
Yeah, so this is the brake robot, and here we have an accelerator robot. We attach a mount to the pedal, and one for the accelerator, and we have a safety mechanism, accelerator pedal that we pull out in case something goes wrong.
Well, there are local conditions. You can take research from around the world, but there are so many issues about Australia that are important, so it's nice to have done that work here. And I also suspect that by doing it here you'll get more commitment from the people here as well, rather than that this is what something happens in the United States. You can say, this is Australian research, it tells you this. It's about Australian people on Australian roads.